You're listening to The Greg Kelly Show.
What does ABC stand for? I think it stands for officially American Broadcasting Company. I think it really stands for abortions are better than children. Okay? ABC, abortions are better than children, because their coverage of the Roe v. Wade decision, remember, these are supposed to be neutral people. They're supposed to play it right down the middle. I don't play it right down the middle. I don't pretend that I do, however. All right? I am a conservative. I am a Trump Republican. I love the guy. I like his style. I like his policies. And I say that. And I can't stand the wokeism and all that stuff. These people pretend that they're neutral. These are folks who pretend that they are not on one side of any issue. Cut 40, if you don't mind, please. This is ABC, formerly known as the American Broadcasting Company, now known as abortions are better than children. Cut 40.
Just after 10 a.m. on Friday, a legal earthquake. The court stripping women of that fundamental right.
It changes the status of American women as citizens of the United States and as citizens of their states. That's the big picture, but let's not mince words. Women will die because of this ruling.
Today, I feel as though we have gone back in time, not just 50 years, but we've gone even further. Because for poor women, for black women, for women of color.
Relax, everybody. Relax. You know, you say conceivably women will die. Hey, dozens of women died yesterday in that truck in Texas. It's not theoretical. It's not hypothetical. It just freaking happened. On a truck. Migrants here illegally, encouraged to do so by Joe Biden. Basically, he said it out loud, come, and then he screwed up an entire system that was working, and he did it on purpose, and the blood is on his hands. Is it 46 people? 46 or 49? Hardworking people. 50 now. The death toll is up to 50. Men and women in a truck, desperate to be Americans. People are dying today. Be right back.
Greg Kelly. Listen to this podcast now
on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
Protecting America with Rita Cosby.
You really came after him. It was interesting to see. You had a bit of a Twitter war, right? Where you said Bill Barr is the stereotypical small-town sheriff, overweight and largely immobile, whose rank incompetence results in the whole town being robbed from under his nose.
I was trying to think of a motive, right? Because when Bill Barr first came in, I was actually pretty enthusiastic. I didn't see Bill Barr as a kind of rabid Trumpster. I mean, I saw him as a measured guy who was going to be kind of someone whose voice could be trusted. And so that's why I was so disappointed when I heard him on 2000 Mules, because it seemed like he was kind of dug in. And then I thought, well, maybe it's the case that right after the election, this guy came out and said everything was secure. So he is like the sheriff. It's very difficult for him to now admit, basically say, who robbed the bank? Wait a minute, the bank wasn't robbed in the first place.
Download all of Red Apple Media's podcasts right now through your favorite podcast platform. Listen to this podcast now
on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
Protecting America with Rita Cosby.
I remember thinking, oh, this is weird, and it was an anomaly because there were so many absentee ballots that were handed in. There were just, the numbers changing dramatically in the middle of the night, which would lead a normal person to go, well, that's odd. And just like you're just talking about these things, like why would somebody take off the gloves? Why 3 and 1? There's just a lot of odd activities.
Right. And then, of course, Rita, there's the very effective technology of cell phone geo-tracking. We don't realize, most of us, that when we download these apps into our phone, we're really giving permission for our location to be precisely identified. And that data is then collected by these so-called aggregators, and they sell it. And that's why when you're in the mall, you get a notification, there's a special going on at the store right across from you. Well, how do they know you're there? The answer is they're geo-tracking your phone.
Download all of Red Apple Media's podcasts right now through your favorite podcast platform. You're listening to The Greg Kelly Show.
You think my new name for ABC News is going to catch on? ABC News, the American Broadcasting Company, is now abortions are better than children. Abortions are better than children. They had anchors crying about the Roe v. Wade decision being overturned. I could see, people disagree on this issue, but that doesn't give you an excuse to totally skew it. If You want to call yourself a liberal network? You want to say you lean left? Go for it. Okay. I'd have nothing to say, nothing to criticize. But you pretend you're something you're not. You pretend you're neutral. You obviously are not. And also, everybody is lying about these guys. Hey, I was really tough on Jenna Bush. I know it's not a big deal, but Jenna Bush anchors what is that dumb show called? Jenna and Hoda? Hoda and Jenna. No, it's not the Today Show. It's the Hoda and Jenna show. It's like the fourth hour. It's got its own little franchise. And Jenna Bush is the daughter of George W. Bush. Now, what did George W. Bush do? Well, one good thing he did was appoint Samuel Alito. All right, he wrote one of the opinions there in the Roe v. Wade decision. Samuel Alito, Supreme Court Justice. Now, she works at Woke City, so she's really, really disturbed right now. I mean, and I watched yesterday. She was so uncomfortable. And they put this, I don't know who it was, some guy who could not stop talking about his gayness. I'm gay and I was born gay. I just could not stop talking. I thought is he trying to hook up here? Is he looking? Some people treat television as like a great big personal ad. They think they're going to meet somebody great through the TV. They'll write him a letter. They'll reach out on social media and everything will be different. So this guy is just announcing and re-announcing that he's gay. And meanwhile, Jenna Bush is shaking like a leaf. Listen to this. Cut 44.
We just have to acknowledge that a lot has been going on in the last 72 hours. We know that the country is feeling a range of emotions. The one thing that I love about this show is that it is a space for joy. It is a space for hope.
Yes. Is that what you think of when you think of the Today Show? Joy and hope? I don't think so. Joy and hope. Let's see here. And then it gets... All right, so Jenna Bush has flown on Air Force One. She has seen her father sworn in as president of the United States. And I don't know what this guy's name is, so I'm just going to call him the gay guy because that's pretty much all he would talk about. There's this one moment, though, where he talked about some party he went to 5 years ago, and Jenna acts like she's impressed. Cut 45.
So you know how like every year for the Oscars, there's always after parties everywhere?
Yes.
The Oscar party to get into is the Beyonce Jay-Z Oscar party. They take over the whole basement of the Chateau Marmont, and it's like the biggest deal ever.
Do they have one every year?
Every year. So I brought a friend of mine who's in the business.
Stop it for a second.
He tries.
Does she care? Does she care that much? Do they have one every year at the Chateau Marmont? Do they have one every year? All right, keep going. Sorry. Continue.
Is the Beyonce Jay-Z Oscar party. They take over the whole basement of the Chateau Marmont, and it's like the biggest deal ever.
Do they have one every year?
Every year. So I brought a friend of mine who's in the business. He tries to act like he doesn't care about celebrities. So we go to this Oscar party, and we're standing up, and all of a sudden I see this woman sauntering up, and she's in this gilded gown, and she's walking up, and she comes up, and it's Beyonce.
Oh my gosh, I have chills.
Wait.
She has chills because this guy saw Beyonce at some party in California 5 years ago. That's not true, Jenna. You're not being honest with us. You're not being on. It's just, I can't stand it. I know it's a little thing. And then this guy goes on. Here he is coming out, I think for the fifth time in this one show, cut 46.
I look into the camera because I can't believe that I'm sitting here across from you, hosting the Today Show from a town of 5,000 people. It is truly the American dream. And to all my gay brothers and sisters out there, you can live it too.
Oh my gosh, we love you.
I said I wasn't going to cry this morning. It's Pride Month.
We love you, and we'll be back right after this.
And this guy came out, I think, like 20 years ago, by the way. It's not like it happened right then and there. And by the way, half of America came from a small town. It's not a big deal. And Jenna's going along with it. Now, Jenna has to go along with it, all right? I mean, I think she's freaked out. But this is what powerful people do. When you got yours, when you got status, when you got money, when you got all that stuff, you want to keep it. You want to hold on to it. I assume she wants to hold on to this little perch, okay? But guess what? As a white woman, she's got a great big target on her back. So she's got to do this woke walk. She's got to pretend that she's impressed with all this stuff, right? That's what's happening here. All right, make it a big deal. She's got to kind of show that she's visibly upset because of the ruling. And I looked it up, her resume. You know, she was a reading teacher, very admirable, in Baltimore for a couple of years, and then she got hired as a correspondent with the Today Show, like that, just like that. Me, what a schmuck I was. I had to, first thing I had to do was be unemployed for 6 months, okay? Then I had to go all over the country. You know, the two people who called me, I had to go to, I told you already, I had to go to Alabama, upstate New York. Oh, I got another offer in Wisconsin. I had to go driving, schlepping all over the place, finally getting a job in Nowheresville for $20,000 a year, then doubling my salary, going to New York 1, carrying my own camera, all right, to Staten Island to watch some damn city councilman announce, and just stuff like that. But no, she starts at the Today Show. Good for you, Jenna. I know, you'll say and do anything to keep it. Be right back. Fixation on gender and changing your gender, and children encouraging them to switch. It's not letting up. It's not letting up. Do we have this, I tell you, saw something that blew my mind. An instructional video that's being shown right now in area schools in Albany, public schools, about how normal it is to feel like you're not the gender you were born. That's not normal, by the way. That's a disorder. It's okay. I got about 15 disorders of various types. But I don't have this one, gender dysphoria. That's a disorder. You can look it up. It's a psychiatric problem. But here they say, oh, you got this disorder? Well, it's almost like an anorexic. That's a disorder, right? Anorexia nervosa, I think they call it. That's a disorder. Well, imagine being anorexic and going to your doctor and saying, I think I'm fat. And the doctor says, okay, well, let's see if we can cut some calories. Even if you're 85 pounds, they're going to put you on a diet. That's a little bit like this gender dysphoria stuff. I think I may want to be a boy. Okay, let's go ahead and shape you up a penis and get you on these hormones. That's the last step, if any. It's very, very rare, but they're making it seem as typical as, I don't know, getting the flu. Cut 47.
Hi, Fish. Come here. Oh, you need a name. Let's see. Wait a second. What gender are you? A person who is transgender is someone whose internal sense of their gender, being a boy, girl, or something else, doesn't match their physical body. People who feel this way sometimes feel anxious when they begin to reach puberty and their body starts to change in ways that don't match their internal sense of their gender. These feelings are totally normal.
Oh, right, they're not normal. They're just not normal. That's gender dysphoria. I already went through that.
Endocrinologists specialize in hormones, and they are the most likely to prescribe puberty blockers for someone who wants them. Puberty blockers are medications that will stop your body from changing. They are usually given as an injection or an implant. They block the production of hormones to stop or delay the physical changes of puberty. The effects of the medication are only temporary, so if a person stops using puberty blockers, the physical changes of puberty will begin again.
Puberty blockers, like Tic Tacs, right? Just like sugar pills, like aspirin. Oh, just take some of these puberty blockers. And endocrinologists will be happy to give you them if you want some. I think that's what she said. If you want some, they'll give you some. Puberty blockers? Think that might have some long-term effects? Even though they made it all look cute in the cartoon. It was a cartoon, by the way. Yeah, just little scrubbing bubble type guys posed as the puberty hormones, all very, very radical, disguised to look normal. And that's very worrisome. It really is. How do you feel otherwise? Are you reading the Bible like I've told some of you guys? I have. Here's what I'm doing. The year is almost halfway over. 6 months. 6 months to go, July 1st, okay? I don't want this year to be like the other years where I didn't make good on all the things I wanted to get done. I want to be reading the Bible like it is as automatic as brushing my teeth. And basically, I am like reading it the way someone would. Anyway, every other day. The Charles Stanley Life Principles Bible. It's all in there with these little beautiful notes. And it is wild. You know, the other day I did not know where to start, and I was going through where do I start? Where do I start? Where do I start? And then I opened up a podcast, and then this guy was talking about Matthew. I said, okay, maybe I'll look at Matthew. And I looked down, and it was the exact chapter. It was Matthew, the book, and the chapter the guy was talking about. He'll help you. When you start this process, God will help you. It happens, and when it does, it's so amazing, and it's like confirmation. It's like he's tapping you on the shoulder or smacking you in the face. Yes, I'm real. This is the real thing. It's happening. I'm in charge. I want you close to me. Stay with me. You know, it's true, and it's all available to each and every one of us through the Bible. I'll be right back.
You're listening to The Greg Kelly Show.